So I'm Stephen with Gill Construction. We're here with James and Natalia. We just finished a shower for them, and we're just going to ask them a few questions about the project. What were you guys unhappy about your shower that led you to want to do the remodel?
Well, Stephen, initially around the base of our old shower, we noticed the caulking had a few holes, and then they started to turn a little bit black, a little moldy, and I had previously recaulked them because of a little bit of mold issues, and with caulking, you're gonna have to keep recaulking it, but this time when I pulled it out, it came out with a lot of water and a lot of dirty water, sort of moldy water, and we felt like possibly there might be mold issues back behind what we couldn't see. And really the only way to do that would get behind the walls, possible demo. We just had no idea. We're new homeowners, and we're like, man, this might turn into this is way beyond my my capability. And so that really in its essence was what we sort of were forced into, but what we didn't like about it was that the maintenance issue was a lot of maintenance in and it was tile, and plus the tile parts in the corners, the grout were starting to crack. Not so much foundational issues, but a lot of the grout and the caulking.
So after you guys decided that you knew you needed to remodel the shower, was there any initial concerns or hesitations that you had?
You want to take this?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, yeah, I mean the most obvious one was the price. We, again, new homeowners, we really didn't have any clue what we were getting into. We're, like most families, fixed income, on a budget, but this, we've had other repairs. We just went through a new roof, but most of that was covered by insurance. We had an AC repair, HVAC and all that. So we knew through other things, shows, remodeling, that bathrooms and kitchens are some of the most expensive repairs, and so we were very hesitant. But again, this was out of my wheelhouse of can do. So that in essence was our huge hesitation, was the price. So we knew we'd have to really save up or bite into our savings, which we don't ever do. Mm-hmm. And so, and we don't ever also get loans. We pay off all that stuff. But yeah, our huge hesitation was the price, but we also, we kind of wanted to keep our tile, our shower, all that good stuff. But we kind of knew it was time for a fresh sort of look and start, so we had to look into a remodel.
So was there any hesitation in the hiring process, and then what drew you to choose us for the remodel?
The hiring process, Natalia leaned a little bit. I'll let you talk, lean a little bit on your family for that. You're talking.
Spoke to family who was in the business and said, do not hire somebody that you just meet on Facebook. Here you need to really find somebody. And so was referred to the National Association of Remodelers, and y'all's name was the first one that came up, and we just started to do research from there, and y'all had great reviews, and it led us to giving y'all a call and speaking with Annie and starting the whole journey from there.
How was the communication during the project?
I think together we called. We
did.
Spoke to Annie. Annie collected more information from us, mm-hmm. and then connected us with Matt. Mm-hmm. And
Right.
we kind of expressed to Matt what our budget was, and everything was great. So we went back and forth a lot, and he handled our million questions and all of our changes that we weren't sure what we wanted, and
Right. So as new homeowners, it's all new uncharted waters, especially with this being our first remodel. We had no earthly idea what to expect. So we wanted transparency. We wanted, smooth communication. The communication we were getting from them, I think on their side it was normal communication. I don't think we really knew how to communicate our expectations and our intent. I think that might have been a fumble on our end. So it was a little murky in the beginning. But as they helped us to navigate the process in the beginning, pricing, materials, and how the process worked, and then they gave us options of how to look. If we wanted to get our own materials, in the very beginning we felt real pressured. We felt like we had to go look at our own materials versus, they gave us options like the wet wall that's in there right now. They immediately pointed us towards, and we were like, oh, that looks nice. And we went to the shop and we touched it, we felt it, and then we were like, oh, well, what else is out there? And you're like, well, what if we stuck with tile? And then we immediately went to another store and we started looking at it, and then it was just kind of got stressful because we put stress on ourselves. Yeah. It wasn't Gill's construction. We started spinning ourselves up in a whirlwind. But so that was, and then Matt helped us. He helped us out in that process. So after the selection, he sort of helped us to navigate that initial portion. Then we started to select materials that were in our budget, because again, we were on a fixed budget, and we knew what we tried to pick out at the place we went with all the tile. This is what we want. We want the stars. And he's like, okay, you want that? Here's what it's going to cost. Ching. And we're like, yeah, okay, that's not going to work. And then he's like, okay, well, here's what we have. Try this. And so we're like, okay, that works. And then we tried this, and then we got it into budget. It was still a little bit high, but we worked with this. And then he started telling us about some discounts and the ambassador program and other things that could help us along. And he was really great with communicating with us and transparency, and it was seamless throughout that. So the communication was good.
Natalia, you mentioned something about the daily logs. Could you share with us
Yes.
about that?
So every day at the end of the work day, we would get an email, and it had pictures of what was done during the day and kind of explained, what was done. So the first day with, laying the plastic on the floor. I mean, as simple as laying plastic, to the demo, to the plumbers coming, to see pictures that were taken once, demo happened. So it was great to see what all happened throughout the day. So, we wanted to leave y'all alone and not be hovering, but it was nice to see, oh, all that did get done today. So that was really a nice feature.
Yeah, that goes along with the communication aspect, because I was working sometimes, and then I wouldn't have to call her and say, hey, how did it go? How does it look? I could just pull that up and look in the daily logs and be like, oh, that got done. Oh, wow, they're on this step already? Mm-hmm. Cool. Yeah. Good. So that really helped with the transparency aspect. It was good.
Sure. Were there any unexpected challenges that happened during the process, and how did those get resolved for you?
Maybe just in talking with Tony, he was our construction guy, the contractor. He was great throughout the whole thing, and and the plumbers were great too. I mean, everybody throughout this whole experience was great, and they were communicating with us when I could be here, when I wasn't at work. But one of the things, the showers. Number one, we were grateful when we first bought this house. They were dual head already, so we didn't have to, pay for the extra, two pipes going in. But they both came in at the same level. I wanted the rain shower on my side. Well, she kept the detachable. Well, the rain shower going in would have been right here on my head. And so they were like, do you want to go a little higher? And so of course, this is while everything was demoed. The pan wasn't in. He's like, it's going to be a little 2 inches. I was like, oh, maybe 6 inches. He's like, let's go 8. Man, that thing couldn't have been any more perfect. I got in there that first thing. So that was, I don't know if you could call it a challenge, but it was new to me. I was like, that's great. They overcame that little thing. I was like, I'm glad I was there to make that decision. Another little sort of thing that I don't know if it was a challenge, but thing that happened was, the pans come in, and I didn't know this unless I was here, but if I wasn't here, everything would have, been seamless, but I didn't know the pans come in, traditional sizes. And so, our tile, this is a Copperas home, and it comes custom in a lot of ways. And so the way the wall comes from the edge, the pan from the previous pan is a little bit shorter. And so that the tile doesn't quite go all the way to the pan. So he had to think a little, he had to improvise. So he had to ask my opinion on what he would think, and then he had his own idea, so we kicked it back and forth. I guess you could see that as a challenge, but it worked because he beautifully added tile, which matches beautifully, and so I couldn't be more happier with that. So again, I don't know if it's a challenge, but if there was any of those little nuances that you could consider a challenge, every single one of them was met, and it was beautiful. It was seamless. You know what I mean? So if there were any, it was communicated and it was dealt with, and we're happy with it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Good to hear. Okay, last question. Did the project stay on schedule and within the budget that we proposed to you?
Definitely stayed on budget. If anything, it came in a little under, sort of as a little surprise to me, but it went just a little bit over, and I think that was...
It was the tile, and it was
the
the
tile.
molding.
Yeah, the molding was another Carruthers custom that this molding, if you can maybe say, this molding right here on the edge, because they had to fit the pan and everything custom. That was custom molding. What else? Oh, something with the I don't know if it was demo or when they were putting it. There was just something weird happened that we noticed on the opposite shower walls. There was some, can't remember what Tony called it. There was some drywall nails or something that paint that was covering the nails had popped off or something. And we're like, something's not right here. He came and looked. He's like, huh. He's like, they used nails? And so he's like, man, we got to go get some paint to cover that. And by the time they were done with it, I was like, where is it? He's like, that's what I wanted you to say. Like,
right.
It's like it would never happen.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
again, just if anything happened, it looked like it was supposed to, be here the whole time. So
Perfect.
everything was great.
Yeah.
But yeah, it went a little bit over, and we were fine with that. We kind of fit that into the schedule. They said, 5 days. We were thinking maybe 2 weeks. So we were happy with that in the schedule. So it fell short of what we expected in our schedule and under budget. So I couldn't be happier.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate your time, guys. This has
Yes.
been great. I'm
Thank
glad you guys are happy
you.
with it.
Yes,
It makes me
sir.
happy.
Yes, sir.
Thanks so much.
Thank
Appreciate it.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.